Fucking Olivia had 3 breakfasts the other day.
Oh, Olivia,
I
girl.
just channeling my inner Mel Robbins when I don't want to give a fuck, and I just let them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm not fighting you over Nutella toast. God.
The let them theory. I heard that was quite controversial. I'm gonna forget to say this. I won't be holding myself accountable. I signed up for a half marathon.
Dope. Where? Which marathon?
It's waterfront. I'm already disconnecting.
No, no,
Can
no.
you still
Like
hear me?
you were 47% there the whole time. I want to
Okay,
guess
thank God.
Toronto Waterfront.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, so is that what the race
that's
is
the one.
called?
Yes, yeah. So they
Toronto
do. It's
Waterfront
like
Half Marathon.
so. It's the
Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick.
it's
This
a
is for the
full
show
event.
notes.
No, no, no. It's a full event. So they do the 10K, I believe.
Right,
They
like in
do the
probably a
half.
5.
They do the marathon. They probably do like yeah, like a little. Oh, I think yes, the 5 as well because you can like warm up and do the 5 like on the Thursday. And I was like,
No, I need
ugh.
all the energy.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be eating so much pasta the day before this event. Like, you don't even understand.
Carbo loading.
Sorry, I'm
Just
just having a
fettuccine
flashback of
Alfredo.
Michael Scott. Yes.
It's rabies. Oh my god.
Carb loading, like as he's running, like immediately before. Yeah, I'll be eating this proceeding throughout
And then
the day before.
Toby.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, that was a good one. My god.
so I just so that everybody all of our listeners follow up and ask me how the race has gone in October, then I
Okay, I
will
was
have
gonna ask
answers for you.
October.
Yeah, 19th. It's a Sunday.
October 19th, Sunday.
Hmm.
Do you have
Good times.
a goal?
For time.
And maybe it's too early in the planning process. You haven't figured that out yet, but
Oh yeah, no, my goal is to complete it. I've done one half marathon before when I was in shape. Okay. So
yeah,
that was like nearly 15 years ago. Um
yeah, we don't keep
I'm not
accurate
even
records.
joking. 2013, I think there. That's
Frank, you can have 3 breakfasts anytime you come to my house. We got Frank in the live stream chat. Super duper stoked about that. Stay active, folks. If you're out there watching, fucking stop in and have a chat with us. Sorry if I traipsed all over you, Jenna, but you cut out on me.
no, no. I want Frank to make me 3 breakfasts.
Yeah, seriously.
What would Frank make for breakfast? What are his faves? I want to know.
Frank, eggy bread. Oh, is that what you call French toast over at your house, Kevin? Yeah, he's doing eggy bread,
Alpin.
Alpin,
Alpin.
and
Let's toss something on the fucking
get
frying
some
pan.
fucking toss some fucking meat in a frying pan. I don't know what he says. Oh, that was good. Yeah, no marathon.
Mrs.
That's
Cassidy.
you can't just
It's
cold
a
cock
half.
that one.
Half.
But
It's half.
it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I feel like if you've done a half marathon, I'm rounding up and just calling it a marathon. You know what I mean?
Oh.
You
Yeah,
probably you
I'm
start
21 versus
behind.
42.
Oh, Eggs Benny. He says, "Oh, fucking Eggs Benny's good.
Eggs Benny.
Eggs Benny's
At the
so
front door.
good."
On like traditional, like on English muffin? I need to know, Frank.
Yeah, Frank, just drop down the recipe, primary ingredients, and then we'll finish our salivating.
Yeah, Frank's very on. I wonder if Frank would ever write a cookbook.
Oh man, we have to have a funny fucking name though. You do a
Like,
great cookbook.
no, like something alluding to.
You know what? He's also a volunteer firefighter. Waffles. Eggs Benny over
Waffles.
waffles.
Oh, what?
We can't do this.
I hadn't even
We
considered
can't
that.
we can't just keep having a conversation with the chat. Oh man, it's been a wild minute ride though. Holy shit. Chipotle hollandaise.
Chipotle hollandaise. What?
Chipotle is my life.
So for the viewers and listeners, Frank, I don't think they can see the chat. So Frank
No,
says eggs Benny waffles Chipotle hollandaise. So we're assuming it's eggs Benny over waffles with his
with the
hollandaise
Chipotle.
chipotle. I love
Damn.
chipotle.
Yeah, that sounds so friggin' yummy.
Frig, now
I
I'm
feel like the
hungry again.
sweetness of the waffles really offsets like the greasiness, the richness of it all. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't know if that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
If you're
I
just
can see
making that
that.
up. Listen, I want to get back to the
Sorry,
marathon.
sorry. Yeah. So, and I'll be like, it's only 21 kilometers. It's only 21. Have you
Did
done a half marathon before?
I have I've done a full marathon technically,
Holy shit,
but
dude.
I did walk the whole thing because I was carrying a rucksack, uh,
Okay.
and it was in.
Are we trying to diminish this?
No, it wasn't. It was it was 26 miles. Yeah, it was a marathon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was in New Mexico in the desert.
Hot.
Very, very hot. Hot. Hot, daddy,
Hot.
hot. Yeah,
How long does this take?
oh, I mean, it took me like fucking 8 hours. I just walked it, right?
Holy shit.
Took the whole day. I would have.
8 would be fine. I'm pretty sure I run a half marathon in like 3.5 hours. So times two, I'm running it as fast as you're rucking it.
Well, then it clearly took way longer than 8 hours.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
12. Then I don't know.
Probably 12.
It like
I
all
don't know.
day. We started at something stupid in the morning and then finished around like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was. It was. But I'm saying I'm discounting it because running's way friggin' harder on the body than I don't know.
And yet I fucking love running. Like one of the hardest things. So I don't want to say I was a runner for years, but I introduced myself to exercise with running in school. I started running just like one summer. I was like, I need to like get out of my head and out of my bedroom,
Yeah.
and I just started fucking running and didn't know what I was doing. Kind of just started around the block and then added onto it and then added onto it and then went online and was like mapping out routes and shit like that. Over time, I developed more knowledge, and you pick stuff up and you buy better shoes and you buy the gear to go with it so I could run in the winter and stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah. When it's
Um,
freezing cold, I
and
love getting
icy.
sweaty.
It's actually a nice contrast, I find. I'm not excited to run in the summer. Uh, yeah, those like plus 30 days, I'm gonna be steaming. But all this to be said, I ran for several years, and then I feel like I kind of just like continued building and building and building until
Dope.
did you just share that in
I
the
just I just I just fucking clicked it. Just if you hover your
damn?
mouse over the chat, look at this.
Oh, I think you have to do that as
Oh, it's like the
the
host.
main, yeah, as the host of
Yeah,
the podcast. Yeah.
sick. I'm just gonna
Um
share all of his and make it sound like it's we're getting just a stream of chats.
yeah, it's just intense over here. Um can't keep up. Yeah, and then I it grew and grew and grew, and then I achieved a 10K, which was like a big deal, and then I did like a race weekend type thing with that. Um and whatever it was, 2012 or 2013, I signed up and did the half marathon with the army run.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
man, my knees were fucking shot, and I pardon the pun, but like stepped away from running for a while
We're just
cuz
let's go to spend some time with
my
my
knees hurt a
family.
lot. Yeah, enjoy my knees while I still have them. I'm anticipating that'll probably happen this time, but I have like a gradual chart that I've mapped out from now until October 19th that's very fluid, and it's like a slow it slowly scales into being able to achieve that. So,
That's awesome.
um,
What was your
yeah,
motivation
fingers
for this?
crossed. One of my friends here wanted to do it, so she asked me if I would. I said, "Yeah, fuck. Like
God.
I need a kick in the ass at this point in my life because I can't sit around and wait for motivation. Do you feel like this?
Oh, I fucking
Like the
hate.
motivation is never coming.
No,
It's not coming.
it's there. Yeah, the girls never came. Um, yeah, like I think I agree with you 100% with that. I feel like I'm in a very similar place in the sense that you
Okay.
know being in shape was a big part of my life for a very long time,
Yeah.
and then I just stopped, and it's really hard to get back into it.
It's like yeah, it's like it fell by the wayside
I saw a
for
guy
some
do a
reason.
TikTok, and he was like,
I was speaking
you say you do.
on behalf of me, not you.
No, I
Even though
think
that is how
uh,
you feel as well. I didn't want to speak on your behalf.
I saw a TikTok, and this guy was saying, you do anything for you. It was like, well done, but in the wrong hands, it could be produced like really cheap and cheesy. But he's like, yeah, you do anything for your kids, but would you stop drinking for them? Would you start eating healthy for them? Would you start
Mm,
exercising for them? And I was like,
hmm
my brain. I mean, because
Fuck.
I agree with everything that he said,
Yeah.
but my brain doesn't do long term.
Like long term projections.
Well, no, I mean, I can imagine anything. I can project my like anything. I can do that. I can
Okay.
imagine myself.
So what do you mean by
I
your
just
brain doesn't do
can't
long term?
prioritize my future self because
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
or rather, it's not that I can't. I haven't, and
hmm
I'm struggling to do it. But it's the idea that you know, there's no urgency. There's no deadline. It's just like a lifestyle change, which is I'm just riddled with ADHD,
That's what it is, I
and
think.
it's hard to change from one task to another.
Yes.
It's I feel like it's insurmountable task
Insurmountable. Yeah, I like
to
that.
to change uh lifestyle habits,
Yeah. Yeah.
because so
Like
many of the
our
things that I do are,
daily
yeah,
ingrained habits. Yes, totally.
like I don't think about it, and that's a thing too. It's we're really hard on ourselves, but there's according to my research,
hmm
evidence that you have already made the decision before you've made it. There's so many of the things that you do on a daily basis that are just hardwired now. You don't have to think. It's like breathing.
Yes.
And so I could apply to a lot of things too, like when you reach for this snack or that drink or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so it's not just that you're trying to stop a bad habit and build a better one. You're trying to
Yeah.
identify where these things are happening, where you're just not thinking about them, and they're
May I offer, sorry, while we're on the subject, I came across this on a podcast that Chris Stefano was on. Have
man,
you
he's
heard of
so
this
funny.
app called Yuka? Sorry, I'm showing it on the screen.
Oh,
I don't
I
know if you
did. I
can
just
tell it.
deleted that today. Why did I delete that app?
Stop. Okay.
Why did I
Have
have
you
it?
used it?
No, of course not. I got rid of it.
No. Okay, so Yuka has a scanning feature. I'm going to show you this. So you can like scan barcodes. I don't know. I'll try it with my
Oh
I have a
yeah,
ginger ale here.
it's for like
It'll tell
healthy
us.
things.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll
Oh, we got to talk about Brian Johnson afterwards.
I don't know if it'll scan because it's very shiny, this barcode. I don't know if that'll work. What else can we find? Nothing. But okay, let's pretend that scanned. And it was I don't know, my cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, okay, which like is a healthy food, I thought, tells me that it's actually a rating of poor. So it's 49 out of 100, and it's in like an orange, which isn't the worst thing, right?
I
There's
mean,
worse.
that's a fail on any
There's
standardized
bad.
test.
Yeah, a 49 is no bueno.
So, but
And they
that's
tell
not
us why. So additives,
okay.
high risk additives, there's protein. So these are all good things, positives. Protein, calories, saturated fat, sugar, and sodium is low. They do, however, give you recommendations for what you could get instead,
So
brand
healthier
wise.
alternatives of the same product.
Yeah. So and I'm not paying for this, so like all the free features you can pay and get more out of it, but I'm like,
See, I would use that.
so like I buy Fiber One bars. Those are no nos, and they recommend Made Good bars. Or like for my fruit gummies, they recommend the Smart Sweets. Or for my barista oat milk, they recommend this one. You know, like there's a bunch of different
Can you filter by country of
ways.
manufacture? That'd be so friggin' cool.
Uh, I asked the same fucking question, dude. I was like, "Can we get only Canadian products, please?"
Yeah, show me
Because
how to
you
do
know
this.
damn well, yeah, you know damn well this is gonna tell me all of the stuff that I can get in the US of A. So, not sure, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd
I
have to
think
be at the
we
point in my
can
life where
suss it
everything
out
else has
ourselves.
already changed enough that I
Okay, so for you, this would be a low priority change as far as like making
maybe that's a
changes and choices. Is that
that's what
Or
I
is this something
thought
that
I
you
was
could
saying.
easily change? Oh,
I,
okay. I was
yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Okay.
I but I didn't know that's what I was saying until you
Oh,
said it, you know what I
until I
mean?
reiterated.
I was like, yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what it is cuz I don't know, I feel like food is the hardest thing to change, so it's the one I want to do last.
Okay. And it's also for beauty products.
Oh, that's smart
Like,
because what goes on your skin goes in your body.
yeah, it gets absorbed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of
So,
what goes on your
um,
skin,
okay.
we did that episode about Brian Johnson, the man who has
Yes.
18-year-old erections.
Yes.
Yeah, he I've seen a bunch of him in the
Sorry.
social media now after that Netflix thing came out because
Okay.
we talked about it like I don't know, a week or two after it was released maybe. I could be completely wrong, but it felt that way.
At the
Anyway,
precipice. Yes.
he they were talking about the fact that he's got his own line of products now. Um,
Okay.
the
Hmm.
he broke up with his girlfriend, but she's
Brian.
suing him now, I think. But
What?
and then there was a ton
We are
of
never, ever, ever getting back together.
it's me,
Sorry.
I'm the problem, it's me. Um, the other one was the non-disclosure agreements that he was making people sign
Oh.
because I was having this thought. This is before I saw this content, but I was thinking all these, there's a ton of people on the internet who have
Yeah.
products, who have organizations, whatever, and
Yeah.
if things aren't above board, you find out about them because people talk. So I was
Yes.
like, not hearing much about Brian Johnson, so things must be pretty, or at least so far pretty legit. Because he was doing all those meetups and stuff like that. So I feel like if you're gonna crack and you're gonna show your true self, it's gonna be at one of those kinds of events.
Okay. In an
But
in-person thing, it's hard to. Yeah.
yeah, but apparently he had like an inordinate amount of them required by people working with him or around him or whatever. So I don't know if this
Required.
applies
Hmm.
just to the Netflix show
Okay.
or sort of more broadly, like anyone who works with him, if you're part of his blueprint company or you know what I mean, like.
Right.
And then I guess some legal expert, they were commenting it's not unusual to have NDAs being signed for these kinds of things, but the I guess clauses that were included in his NDAs
We're different.
were different to the point that they were almost
They
weird
hit
kind of
different.
thing. Yeah, they
Yeah.
hit different. So yeah, he's just which on the one hand, I mean, he's already demonstrated that he's a different kind of person.
Totally. Yep.
So, I mean, we're looking at this from the lens of someone that we would expect to be more like you and me, who have difficulty motivating to train for a half marathon or even register for one.
Yeah.
He's,
And
you know
he's
what I mean?
like every single day doing like the most fucking monk like shit.
Yeah, but the least monk like shit too.
Well, yeah, fair.
Like
Fair,
he's
fair.
got, I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that I won't say the world's catching
Monk
up to
like
him.
quality? Is that what
Yeah,
you would
he's
say?
definitely like, I guess to quote Sean,
Yeah.
if he's the orchid, he's not exactly growing out of the mud right now. Where like a Buddhist
Fair.
monk would, like, I don't know if they sleep on stone, but you know, they eat simple food, they have simple clothes, and they lead simple lives. But his life is anything but simple.
Fair. Yeah.
Anyway, thought it was interesting. The
It's like a
snake oil
complex
salesman is
series. Sorry.
no.
Snake oil salesman. Oh, interesting comparison.
Wow, we talked about that on that
Yeah.
episode where it was the fact that he has his own line of products, and I always get suspicious. Like, what was her name? One of the Kardashians, and her makeup. Like,
Oh, Kylie Jenner.
I don't.
Kylie Cosmetics.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost jealous. I can't just throw money at a thing to start it. You know what I mean?
Sure. So it's interesting you say that. I don't know her personally. Years ago, I worked with a young
Jeez.
lady who really admired Kylie Jenner. Um, and I remember her telling me, because she did watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and stuff. I remember her telling me that on several episodes, Kylie uh, had been like overheard saying or quoted saying like, I like, not that she wishes she wasn't who she was, but she's like, I just want to be a normal person.
Yeah.
And I hope and I'd like to think that I would still be pursuing this. Right. Yeah.
So
Still be
sad.
pursuing this regardless of
That was
thing.
mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, like don't like feel badly for her, but it humanizes her. Or it humanized her for me anyways, because I perceive everybody in this, Kardashian Jenner clan as um
Needing therapy.
I don't want to say fake, but like I don't know, produced, I would say. Um I don't know, it like yeah, it humanized her in my opinion, and yeah, she was like I had I not been born into this family, I hope that I would have pursued this anyways, because it is like a real passion that she has.
No
Who
one
knows?
who
Who knows? But she is where she is, and she's made what she's made. And I know that they claim that they haven't had any help getting to where they're at, but like you had some help.
also like maybe the
And
parent.
you real like whether you intended to have help or not. You know what I mean? Like you have connections with certain people. Whether you the right places, the work you do from there is important too. But like half the battle is getting there, I think.
Yeah, and I mean
And they never
parents
produce a line of makeup.
parents. Well, I mean it drives me nuts. Like I don't know. Damn, this light is.
Is it turning off?
Yeah, it's I'm trying to have it run on a external battery pack,
Oh, okay.
but it's charging. So I don't know if sometimes the wire just kind of slips or whatever. But anyway, Yeah, your parents are rich. Don't say that you worked for everything you got. All right, this light. It's gonna be
It's just doing its own thing.
the like we could start our own line of clothes right now for the podcast if we had $20 million.
100%.
You know, but you need
Yeah.
capital to invest and create something. Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
like, I'm sure he didn't buy
Oh my gosh.
a distillery and then come up with his own recipe. You know what I mean? Like, they paid someone
Yeah.
to make him
Yeah, he
scotch
wasn't doing his own.
and they put a label on it. Like,
Sorry, I'm reading this fictitious story called The Guest List, and I have a different book, but I read this when we were
yeah.
when we went on our
Down
anyways,
south.
I read that Lucy Foley is the author for those listening. And one of the characters in the book mentions Conor McGregor's whiskey, I guess it is.
Proper 12.
Anyways, Proper is that what it's called?
I think so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just discovered this yesterday from reading that in the book. I was like, oh, I guess Conor McGregor has a whiskey.
Well, and
What was
I
I gonna
mean,
look up this video?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson has his tequila.
CBCC, yes.
And so did George Clooney did, but I think he sold it. I don't know why I know that.
George Clooney had one but sold it.
Tequila
Also,
company,
is he
or a line of
divorcing his wife? I know I shouldn't care. Like, I should care 0%.
Doesn't she work for the UN? Isn't that like a mar against her record?
I remember them saying, I don't know if any of this is true. And who cares? I don't know. But like, she was marrying down because like she was the one who was like doing all the important work and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit. Gosh, I don't even know who I would have sent this to.
What are you looking for again?
Oh, there's this video and this woman's talking about how difficult it is to like be a woman in business and succeed because there's no access to what you were describing, the capital. Oh, I know who the creator is. I can just look at the account. Okay.
You think I'd remember what I was talking about after you said the word capital?
Moments.
Nope.
Okay. So because it's Joe Rogan that she duets. No, it's not duet. Stitch, where it's his video first and then she jumps in after. Okay. I'm gonna start.
Like where they got their money from. It's rough out there, guys.
I want to talk about it being tough out here because we can talk about it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to play this audio, but I'm gonna.
Don't worry, we don't have enough listeners for this shit to get flagged.
Something that if you don't know will absolutely fucking blow your mind, and I'm going to need you to stay with me because this affects you even if you don't think it does. Worldwide, 2% of venture capital funding goes to women founders. If you're listening to this and you're not an entrepreneur, you're going to be like, okay, cool, I don't want to start a business. That's not a problem for me. How many times have we sat next to a man that's been like, oh, the gender pay gap doesn't exist, it's illegal, you can't be paid a different amount for the same job, and therefore we do have gender equality now? Absolutely the fuck not. If you look around and you look at your phone, you look at the software you're using, you look at the clothes you're wearing, the vast majority of that will be made because of venture capital funding. So you look at that list of richest women, right? You look at that list of richest men. What have they done? They have built companies, and they have built companies venture funding. It is almost impossible to grow a big business without getting venture capital funding. And so don't even talk about this being like fucking tough out here when the playing field is so far from level. Earlier this year, when my 2 male co-founders decided to start a company with me, their chances of raising funding for that business decreased by 81.5% by just adding me as a co-founder, adding someone, a whole person with a great education who's built successful businesses.
She says great education. She has like a master's from Oxford University.
That's mid.
So like
Just me to the coaching everyone. So first of all, we know that women-founded companies hire more women, they pay women more, they have more equitable policies for women. They also, statistically, in case you didn't know, far outperform male-founded companies when venture-backed. And even if none of those things come into your radar and you are absolutely fine with all of those things, then let me tell you that this funding gap is exactly why we are building a world for men by men. We talk about having gender equality. We talk about how far we've come. Yes, we've come so far, but it is things exactly like this funding gap, which mean that, for example, 97% of all of the scientific data we have on the human body, 97% is based only on men. It's 2024. How can you complain about something like the fact that the women who are richest in the world are richest by divorce? Do you know what got their husbands that money? Building companies. Statistically, women cannot even get fucking close. So how about you stop whining about the fact that apparently these women want money when actually what they want is lowered barriers to entry so that they can build their own shit, build a world that is actually made for them and grow economies.
So she's obviously
Super fucking wrong.
a very clear path of trying to get into these venture funded companies, right? Sorry, this is what brought me to that, because she's about like getting the capital to
Yeah.
start a
Mhm.
company, and this is kind of like what got me on this thought process. And I remember hearing this video. By the way, if you guys want to go listen to it 1,000 times again, Grace Beverly is the creator. She has like she launched like a very successful what is the word? Athletic wear company. Um so gosh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I want to say 6 years ago, something like that. She's obviously, I don't say obviously, but like she's British, so she's UK based. And I remember following her when she was like first starting the company, and I was like really, I had a lot of time to go on Instagram back then, so
Yeah.
I was I knew what she was up to. These days not so much, but then this came up on my feed and I was just like, "Oh, it's Grace. Let's see what she's got to say." And then I was blown away. She's sharing accurate statistics, and I couldn't get over the fact that like her as an additional member, as an additional co-founder of a company, decreased their chances for capital funding by 81.5%. And I was just like, this is wild. So why is there that difference? I don't know, but yeah, just a little just a little something to simmer
I'm
and think about this week.
always skeptical when people talk numbers, especially when they're angry about them,
Okay, yes.
because we have to trust what she's saying, and I have no reason to
Totally.
trust her. That said,
I have no reason.
I was immediately suspicious when she got the year wrong. Just putting that out there. It's 2025. Dumb
Oh,
idiot.
sorry. It's a video from last year.
It was a fail joke. What really bugs me about that video though is that I agree with probably everything she said in terms of the performance of the companies or the businesses
Yeah.
when there are more women present. I think, to be quite honest, most women that succeed are harder workers than the men that succeed. Um,
I think I don't want to say they have more to lose, but because I don't want to say a stigma, but there's still something
I'm sure for
something
many
there
people
that
that's the case. I think just in general,
yeah.
if you ask
Okay.
if a woman is in the workplace and you ask her whenever she gets assigned something, however you want to
Mhm.
word it, do this,
Yep.
she's gonna do it a lot more seriously than like I don't know if this is a good example or not, but think of cleaners.
Yes.
The people that you not necessarily
I'm
contracted
picturing the
cleaners at
cleaning
office
staff
spaces.
at YMCA because those are the last cleaning people I saw
I'm
today.
I'm picturing people that go to your home to clean.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Yeah.
because those people
Traditionally women.
are almost all women,
Yeah.
and their turnover is insane.
Okay.
They you know what I mean? Like they charge, even these days, still reasonable rates. They're
Yeah.
only in your house for maybe 3 hours. They get so much done so fast. Um, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just one of I look to that and I see much more diligent work, because I think guys probably associate a lot more of who they are with what they do, whereas
Mm-hmm.
I'm I don't know what women are like, but I'm assuming less so the case. I've never really seen too many women. Uh, Sometimes you can tell someone's not really proud of what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't think you see that as much with women. They don't give a fuck.
Right.
They're more comfortable with who they are. They're more confident about themselves, which shows the
Interesting.
fragility
Okay.
of the male ego, which
The fragility of
don't
the
even get
male
me
ego.
going. But that said, like
But we
I don't
could.
I don't see this changing.
Oh, like for you personally, you mean? Sorry, or
Yeah,
like in the
yeah,
world?
eh, yeah, in the world, like to because you can't
And it's
legislate this
shift
problem
more.
away,
No,
which
and that
means
I don't want to say that would be wrong, but it would not. People would find ways around it. Like
well,
there was a yeah. If you really want to get something done, there's other ways to do it.
yeah, and
Legal,
like
illegal. So
her saying 2% are women. I'm like, you're
okay,
asking me to make a lot of assumptions. Like, do
accuracy
fewer
of the
women,
number.
like are the amount of men and women applying for these
The same.
for this investment the same? No. So there's already
Yep.
fewer people, fewer women, and so I think that describes the levels of the barriers to get to the top. Do you know? By the time you
Gotcha.
get up there,
Yeah.
there's only 2% of the women that are left. But
Yes.
when the whole like the whole society is governed by people, and by
Mm-hmm.
governed by
Mm-hmm.
people, I mean the ones that make the decisions, the ones that choose to invest here instead of there, the ones who, you know what I mean. uh
Yeah.
and until those individuals change, I don't think the system's
Mm-hmm.
going to change very much in favor of women. I don't think those numbers are going to balance out ever.
Yeah.
um
I I want to tie this in a little bit because it is like feminist to speak, and I don't say a lot of ways, but like it folds into what I'm about to bring up.
vis-a-vis
Christina P, my favorite, um, was talking about on a recent podcast saying that like the feminist movement, and she named a few of like high-ranking females in the feminist movement. She was like, love everything that they've done for us. So amazing. Thank you so much. She's like, but the feminist movement never took into account motherhood, becoming a mother. And she was like, there is something that changes in you, like your brain chemistry changes, how
I
your brain
don't doubt
performs
that.
changes, like literally. That's unavoidable, undeniable. And this is like by way of adoption, by way of like we'll say natural conception, by like all the ways. Like if you're caring for a small baby and you become a parent, like your brain changes. And then oh gosh, it's like your priorities will obviously change, you change. And she just like she pointed out that fact, a lot of these women that never had children. And so it's so difficult to apply this sort of like concept that just doesn't work in reality with the like in that application of like
Yeah,
being
it's
a
like a
mom.
pretty important variable to leave
Just
out. It fucks the whole
major
algorithm.
variable. Yeah. 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 That's a very concise way of putting it. Yeah. And so I think I can't say unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. Sorry, I've had this cough for
I was
like
gonna
2
say it
weeks.
sounds
It's
like you're
so
like
annoying.
dying. I think it's
um I just I don't know. Like I think of women, I see like Grace as one of these people who like yes, she perhaps wants to have a family someday, like that kind of thing. But right now she's like fully in her fucking career and she's like trying to kill it. And there's some setbacks, and are those setbacks as she describes them? I like I feel like I'm in a position where I'm happy to believe her. I'll believe anything she tells me. But
I should.
it's like the fact of the matter is that this is what everything looks like now. So like the richest women are the divorced, the ex-wives of very rich men. But there's other women that want to be in those positions and like are working really hard trying to get up there, and they're being held back, or at least they feel like they're being held back. And so it's like, how do we change this?
Yeah, I just want to go back really quickly and say, for the record, I'm sure everything she said was factual, accurate, and properly interpreted.
Yes.
All hail Grace.
Thank you for thank you
Yeah,
for clarifying, Colin. Yeah.
the oh, you said something. I thought was really interesting. I see two culture
It,
problems with
okay.
this. So number one, like when let's just talk about business because that's mostly privately owned.
Yeah.
Let's say I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But let's just like go back just a few decades.
Hmm.
Like we're still at the very beginning of this equality journey.
Of something very different happening. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think that society as a whole uh I watch shows where you see women getting smacked around and shit. Like think of Mad Men or whatever.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
like we've at least gotten to a point where the the general population understands that that kind of behavior is wrong. But I still
Hmm.
think there's a lot of people that probably think women aren't as good as men. And I think a lot of those
Ooh, yeah.
people are probably the guys who succeed in the business world because you kind of got to be an asshole to be good at, I don't know, mergers and acquisitions or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
It's
think
tough
it's,
out in these streets.
but also, this is going to sound so fucking, if this gets misinterpreted, this could be deadly. But
Okay. You know what? I think we should just take a pause so that people can clip this really easily,
smart.
and then we'll get viral.
Okay, we'll
Just kidding.
pause
I
for
don't
three
want that to
seconds.
happen. Okay.
Do you think if
Sorry, I can't.
these titans of feminism from back in the day,
Titans of industry. Sorry.
because I see I mean personally my philosophy is I don't care about you as an individual. I
Okay.
want you to feel good about who you are and do the things that you want to do. That's
Yeah.
the sum of how I want
The
the
world
world to be.
to
Do you
be.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we get
Yeah. Yeah.
people get anyway. That's a tangent, but
That's a delicate thing too, because there's so many. Everyone's individual. We're all our own little snowflakes, and so
without treading on other people's individual liberties, right? Like just because I want
okay.
to be
Okay.
punchy face doesn't mean I actually get to be who I feel like I am inside and punch
Mm,
people in the face. That's
hmm.
where the line is kind of.
I'm
But
picturing the Emoji Movie. Anyways, I don't know why.
I don't. I wonder if the foundation layers of the four mothers of feminism, um, if they had included motherhood, what would have changed? What would that landscape look like now? Or if they just
Yes.
if they hadn't, I know there's like different kinds of feminism, like waves of it.
It's
I don't know if they're like levels of, like, you can be a pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan. I don't
yeah.
know if there's like a
You cut out eggs,
hierarchy
you
of
cut out dairy. Yeah.
and this is a very traditional
You know
argument
what?
or
I think
point of view.
I think like with everything. Sorry, I'm just gonna go off what you were just saying.
Yeah,
I won't before I forget.
for sure.
I feel like it's I don't want to say I'm realizing more and more, but almost everything seems like it's a spectrum
Of course. Of
of
course it's a
that
spectrum.
thing. There's not one like there's no black and white for almost anything. So I feel like in feminism it would be a logical thing to see that it does have all of those
Yeah.
shades in that spectrum as well. Yeah.
Sorry, every time you keep saying, you know what? It's twice that it's happened. And I'm like, shit, I'm about to get in trouble for talking about feminism. Here's where it happens. This is how it ends.
No. What's
Thank God.
hilarious is that I didn't even realize I was saying, you know what, till you just pointed it out. And then it dawned on me that that's shit my mom says. And I must have picked it up. I'm turning into my mother. So
That's
thanks,
so
Mom.
funny. Oh my God. Well,
Speaking of our foremothers.
shattered glass sound effect. If the tone of their message had changed, if the scope of their message had changed, and they weren't, and I guess the way I'm trying to posit the question is coming from the point of view of women want to be seen, heard, treated, whatever, the exact same as men. I don't know that it's accurate. I'm trying to figure out what equality sounds like. You can't put that into a
Right.
sound
Yeah.
bite. But
So I think that
just
is the fundamental question of feminism.
but
What even is this? No, I'm just kidding. Like, what does this look like?
does it is she is,
Like,
is
does
she
100% equality mean it's the right thing?
no, and I don't like you said, like spectrum. I don't think
Yeah.
I do care, Frank, by the way. Thank you. I'm gonna show everyone my new trick here. Watch this.
Look at the
Boom. Show on stream. Sounds like you do. I care about you, Frank.
bro. I love it.
Like it almost makes it like women shouldn't want to do women things, traditionally women things.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
I get, yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
do you as a young woman grow up hearing the message,
So shameful.
this is what they want you to be, but you can be anything you
Mhm.
want, and then you go back and
Mhm.
you go through some of these pioneers, because truly that's what they are, right? I mean, to be
Mhm.
vocal in a man's world is, in historically not worked out for
Mhm.
women, unfortunately. And so many, sorry, there's a billion
Cleopatra.
fucking jokes in my head right now.
Okay.
I'm just trying really hard to fight them all off because they're inappropriate. But
I will may I offer an example of what I think you're trying to say?
love it. Yeah, for sure.
This came to mind as you said, like
This is the power of
not
ADHD, folks, by the way.
like in not wanting to say abide by the full feminism ways of the world. Um, one of those things is like your name after you get married. That's like a very traditional thing. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding it because it's like you're taking your husband's last name. So you're taking on who the man is in the family. You are like absorbing the man's side of the family and neglecting your own. I don't want to say my counter argument is, but like this is all made up.
100% is, and that's why
And
I
the name that I had before I got married was my dad's
yeah.
last name.
Mhm.
So if we really wanted to like be quote unquote feminist, ultra feminist, I would make up my own last name.
100%.
and
And
then my husband
it,
would take that last name. I don't know how that
it
works,
begs
but
the question why you don't just make up your own name anyway. You get married,
yeah.
start a new fucking family. Like I now
Well, yeah.
pronounce you Mr. and Mrs.
The fucking Cassidys.
Jenna and Jordan Cassidy.
Yeah.
It's Sturon.
It's stupid.
If anyone watch Kevin Bridges on YouTube, Scottish
Sleepover
comedian. Yeah, it's the
skit.
sleepover one. Oh my fucking god.
It's hilarious.
It's so
yeah.
good. Put something in that fucking frying pan, Mr. Cassidy. But yeah, like
Nothing I'd like more than a bowl of Alpen.
nice Alpin. You think 5 a.m.'s too early?
Oh my god, I could watch that again. I'll probably watch it again after this.
I recommend people go watch it. It's 10 minutes, but it's worth your time.
Oh yes, and like so goes on this like whole hyphenating your last name, giving your children the last name of their father. You know, if I went with my mom's last name, that's still my grandpa's last name. She was named after, you know what I mean? Like it just goes.
Yeah,
And then
like,
I
let's
think there
all
was
relax.
there's this interesting argument that I don't know how it forms itself because we have science at the beginning of time when people started giving each other their dad's last name. Biologically, you can trace back your bloodline through your mother forever. Like your maternal bloodline is like the longest running shit there is.
For real?
However, yeah.
I did not know
However,
that.
well, this is the information I've gathered over time. Colin.
Sorry, does that the inference I'm hearing is that the paternal bloodline does not stretch that far back?
Yeah, it's not as perhaps as able to go as far back, or it's not as clear. We'll
Because
say.
it's also
And so
the same
somewhere
names.
along the way,
Yeah.
I know.
I think it's something
So
to do with
like
childbirth.
I feel like maybe
I don't know.
because like the mom is actually giving birth. I don't know.
'Cause, like,
But that being said, somewhere along the way, there's two arguments to this. So like obviously we didn't have science to tell us that this was the case. But then it was also a way for fathers to be able to pass something on to their children because they weren't able to like give birth to them. So it was like, I'll give you my last name. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is
that's
like
a really interesting.
self-explanatory.
No, I think that makes sense.
The women were giving birth, the dads were giving the names. I feel like that was like the compromise that they found at the time.
Fair.
And it
yeah.
worked, but now it seems as though it's not fair in the same ways anymore. It doesn't feel fair in the modern day because obviously all of these traditional things were established long before technology.
And that's what I'm saying.
Long
Like
before we lived in
fair
cities.
is dumb.
We were in small villages in the fucking Middle Ages. Like
there's a group of people somewhere, I want to say South Asia, Southeast Asia, the Pacific, I don't know, but they're like a tribal people. They have their own culture and everything, and this is what I'm saying by fair. First of all, it's 2025. If you're complaining about something being unfair from an area that you have complete control over,
yes.
just do what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
do, like, be Princess Consuela banana hammock all day
Yeah.
and crap
Like,
bag.
Take those liberties, bro.
Yeah, but these folks, they don't have names like we have names. They have names that are
Okay.
songs.
Ooh.
So they actually sing their names. It's a
That
weird.
sounds beautiful.
And honestly, it sounded really, really nice. But the point is that
Did you hear about these peoples?
yeah, we think we get so entrenched in this idea that names. Like, honestly, it's probably just
Yeah.
for tax
Yeah.
purposes. I'm sure it's just so
Yep.
the government can benefit, and then
Yeah.
definitely an element of patriarchal oppression. Got to sprinkle some of that in every
It's
now and again.
patriarchy and it's colonialism and we
Yeah,
hate it.
it's just all the worst
It's
of
oppressive.
everything that men have done for this world. But the bottom line is, for most of these things now, like names, like
I think
be
it's the
who you
least of
want to
our
be.
worries,
I mean, if
to
we
be
got
honest.
people walking around identifying as cats,
Cats. Yeah.
and this is being taken seriously in the workplace, no fur off your back. I just, if we're able to do that and be
Is that
okay
for
with
real?
that,
Like, are they actually installing cat litter boxes for people to pee in? Like,
I've
this is
not,
mental illness, no?
just because I still serve the Canadian government, I'm going to
Can't
not answer that question.
comment. Yeah. No worries.
I'm going to hope that the people
Am
who know
I?
me know my answer.
Sure. Am I just like a close-minded fucking?
I mean, these are also things that like aren't worth thinking about. I don't care who
Okay.
identifies as a cat. So
Oh,
this is
okay. Fair.
this is to like to suggest that you're not closed-minded. You just have better things to think about. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
not.
my like off the hip reaction. Um, expression even is like, but why? Are you all right? Colin is looking perturbed.
I think Cassie's in the
He's
laundry room.
removed one headphone. Oh, okay. Not a burglar.
Well, if it's a
Are you?
burglar, you're gonna all see it live pretty soon.
It's live,
Yeah.
guys. One of the benefits of recording a live podcast.
Oh man, that'd be so much fun. Hey, long story
Getting
short,
burgled? What?
that it would be like a fun concept for like a
So
story or
fun,
movie.
you guys.
So
So
fun.
fun.
Like someone's recording their podcast, but then like they get burgled upstairs and they got to run and sort it out. And like the podcast can hear things and every now and again can see things. Just be a
Oh, fuck. Sorry, something happened on the buses today, but I just signed an NDA for my job
no.
at our last safety meeting. I don't know what else to call it. It was like, you have all of this very delicate information about underage people, and they were basically like, don't share
Hey, tell me
any
that
information.
story
And
you
I
were
was
going
like,
to tell me
wow.
about the guy you shared an Uber with.
The guy I shared an Uber with, who is telling me this story about what happened at his job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
tell us what he
he,
said.
he was accused. He was accused of touching under kids, and I know in but the words that were used was touching children, and I guess there was some intervention. I think this person is innocent, and some parents are wild, man. Some parents are wild.
Yeah, some of my coworkers'
And
parents are pretty
don't.
wild
I
too.
feel like, yeah. I
Because
really,
we're talking about your friend that you shared an Uber with.
my friend that I shared
Yeah,
an Uber with. Yeah, we're quite close now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his
This
parents must
story
have been
really brought us
pretty
together.
mad.
Totally.
Did we lose the plot? Did I ruin that?
No, they you know what? The parents actually had to intervene. They said, "You know what? I'm going to come pick you up immediately.
That's
I'll be
like a
there.
safe
I'll be there in
bet.
a jiff."
We never think about the child.
No
you know.
authorities were called, I don't think.
That's always good for the children, you know,
Totally.
to have. I mean, we've had three separate instances where cops were called to our kids' schools this year.
Stop.
Man, one of them.
An elementary school?
Yeah, and I didn't hear this from a guy in an Uber. This happened at our
What?
school.
I never saw police at my elementary school.
I think the only times we really saw police in the elementary school was for drugs, but now it's for all kinds of stuff. I think
Drugs in the elementary school?
I went to school in Pembroke.
I went to school in fucking East Ottawa, bro. Like
Just say,
what?
a lot of people like to think they're from a shitty town, but
Say
welcome
no
to
more.
Pembroke.
Yeah. You're like, we win. We
yeah,
had the
it's
popos. at our
greasy
fucking
AF. The
school. Nice.
the one this guy came looking for his child,
Okay.
and it was basically like it felt like a custody fight or something. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
you know, so like
okay.
people weren't
It wasn't
comfortable
his night or
releasing the
weekend,
child into his custody. So
even
yeah,
though okay.
and then there's two we'll say active shooter. No one was shooting, but they do the fucking what do they call them?
What? Like a
it's not a
drill where
stand.
somebody
Yeah, I can't remember what they call it. It's like a lockdown. That's it. They did a
a
lockdown.
lockdown.
I almost said stand two. That's what we said.
As training.
Yeah,
Oh,
they are.
speaking of things that you've renamed, we now call the kiss and ride the fly.
The what?
The fly. Cause like
Park and fly.
at the yeah, I said it by accident one day, and Jordan's like, "Nope, that is now it's the park and fly,"
That's
and I
so
was like,
good.
"Oh, okay, cool."
I love when that
Yeah,
happens.
sorry, but yeah, so the two lockdowns.
Yeah, there
You
was
said any no
one involved a fucking a guy had a weapon, I think.
stop.
Yeah, when Cassie
And he
hears this,
infiltrated the school.
I mean, it's not hard to infiltrate. You ring the doorbell, they look at you in the camera, and then they unlock the door. There's no one there patting you down. It's not.
There is no one there patting you down, but I don't know.
I
I see a
remember.
lot through that little camera. No,
No,
probably just looked like a dad trying to.
probably look at
I'm
this.
assuming this was a guy. Oh my god! I just stereotyped this person. Was it a
Oh
man?
my fucking god!
Whoa! Was it a woman?
No one in the 5 years we've been doing this would
Okay.
have pegged you to be the sexist. Ugh.
I'm so sexist.
This
Oh
is
no.
the best day ever. Yeah.
So I wrote this down, the Four Mothers of Feminism, as the title for the podcast episode, but I think it's going to be surprise Jenna's sexist.
Oh, that's even better. I had insurmountable odds.
Oh, I like insurmountable odds. I like that. Jeez, we're going to have to put up a poll. We'll get our listeners to name
Yeah,
the episode.
focus group. And we should probably
Focus group.
wrap this up soon anyway. We talked about a lot of different things.
Jesus,
Holy shit.
dude,
We started
all
out a
over the map.
marathon and we ended up with you being a bigot.
It's full circle, really.
I know John.
Just like my marathon's going to be.
John K. He's so petty. How petty is he? He would go through all of our episodes just to find anything that I've said that sounded bigoted, just to come to your
Oh my
defense.
gosh. Yes. This
Yeah.
is John, you say?
Yeah, his name's John. John K. He's a big fan of yours. He
Mhm.
likes your work. He tolerates mine.
Oh. Oh, thanks. Thank you, John. This is your friend who often points out your racial commentary. Is this
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, same guy. One in
Okay.
the same. Some would call him a pain in the
Same,
ass.
same.
I call him my guardian angel.
My bestie.
Yeah, and he fucking hates it because he's Native American and I'm white, and he just
Okay.
really hates that he cares for me so much.
Notes. Isla now runs around the house randomly singing Pink Pony Club.
Oh my god, yeah,
Pink
Olivia loves that song
Pony
right
Club.
now.
And if you don't know the context of the song, please go listen to it. It's not appropriate. A 3-year-old should not be singing this song, and neither should Olivia, for that matter. But it's a popular song on the radio, and
So I picked up Olivia from
I hear
school
it.
a couple weeks ago. Daddy, can we
Yep.
listen to Pink Pony Club? So I found out that
Had you heard the song?
I know the song.
Okay.
But what was, I'm just piling on what you said about the inappropriosity of it. He the it's called Lark, Lennox and Addington. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's their before and after school care, but the
Mhm.
after school care, they showed the kids the music video or the her live performance from uh
Grammys.
the Grammys. Yeah, I didn't know what the award show was called, and I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
hmm,
Maybe
because
the AMAs. I'm not sure.
I was like, as a 5-year old, not concerned about her listening to the song. She can
Yeah.
barely understand the lyrics. And I mean, I listen to music now that I listened to when I was like 10, and I'm like,
Okay.
fuck, I was so dumb.
Should not have been. You
Shouldn't,
didn't know.
well, didn't know. And why would you? Especially because a lot
Yeah.
of it is, especially our generation's music was way better. It was a little bit more artistic. You had to get the message. It wasn't just like
It wasn't a
boom bop
direct
boom
message.
bop pop pop bam. You know, I don't know. I can't remember Kamar's lyrics, but um, I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea to show the live performance of this song to children. But I stood there thinking, I was like, I don't understand if this is something I agree with or not. I just I didn't know if I had an
Right.
opinion on it. I was like, at the end of the day,
You're like, wait, should I be upset about
well,
this? Because I don't know if I am. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if it was inappropriate or not for a 5-year old, and I
Okay.
was like, fuck, I don't know. I don't know how to gauge shit anymore.
I don't
The
fucking
world
know either.
is so perverted. It's
It's. I think what it is we. This is a whole other
I
podcast
love it. I love
episode. I
it.
feel like every generation is raised by their parents who were raised at a different time, and
Mhm.
so we're trying to like teach them
Skates.
how to be good
Mhm.
in the
Today's
sets
world.
of like morals and values that we had, except for the world has changed and evolved, and so society changes and socially things change and music changes and clothes change and blah blah blah, right? So everything's changed except for we're still using these like morals and values that are like 30 years predated or anyways past from the past, and then we're trying to fucking
Yonder.
like mesh them all together, and it's I don't know, I guess
Yeah,
that's just
you
life.
try to apply your math to this new math, and
Hmm.
the answers are different, and you don't know which one's right. It's
Yeah, you're like, wait, is this the correct answer? And you're like, how did I get to this answer? And then you start doing your
like I'll check
showing
the
your work,
I'll
so to
check the
speak.
math, but I won't know for 13 more years if I fucked it up or not.
Exactly. Exactly.
Them little shits are gonna
Huh.
grow, and they're gonna blame me for everything. I did my fucking
That's
best.
why I hate.
I don't know where I went wrong, and then I'm gonna say it's when I let you listen to Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, you're like, that was day one. Everything.
Day one,
just
week one.
devolved.
Come on. Anyway, we'll save that for.
An unlovely disappointment.
Well, thank you
Anyways,
everyone
thank you.
for coming out. Frank, thanks so much for being involved in the chat. If anyone else is out there,
Yeah, Frank.
we do this live. So
Mhm.
we usually record on Sunday nights. We've been a little helter skelter lately.
I'll- yeah. Colin, where can people watch us live?
Oh, great question. We stream live on YouTube.
What? YouTube? But that's, you mean like YouTube? The YouTube?
I try to remember where else we stream live to. Oh, and Instagram. We should be live on Instagram. Or
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. Yeah. And if you do all the things that we need you to do, like, comment, and subscribe, download the
All those
episodes. I don't even care if you listen to them,
download.
really. Listen to this part because I'm telling you
Put
what
them
I
in the
need you to
background.
do. Just fucking
Yes.
cycle that shit through. You're not on your computer during the day, open up Spotify, let her rip. But we need numbers.
And if we are if we are lucky enough, I've talked to a couple people in the last week about the podcast. So if you were listening, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Really.
huge thanks. I actually really
Yeah,
enjoy
new listeners are
doing the show.
the best. Yeah.
It's a really it's a fun way for me to spend time that's productive.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to monetize this shit, folks. Let's go. Let's get on it. Hashtag
Yeah.
get that bread.
And also, we want more. Like we would, like if we have bigger reach and we look more legit, people are gonna come on and talk to us. We can get you these fucking answers about the four mothers of feminism and shit.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna when we have more people in the live, we're just gonna pick out
Mhm.
people. They're gonna send us their email addresses, and we'll bring them on for a few minutes.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Just like micro guests, like an ask me anything.
No Joe's guests.
But we got to see your face. Yeah, it's a good. That's a great idea. A lot of people are saying it's a good idea. It's the best.
Oh my god.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks, everyone.
Toodles. Toodles.
I hope I got that last toodles in because you said it and then
Yeah,
you
it's all
did it
good.
better.
It's all good. It's all good. I think you did.